Howdy, it's Kyle introducing Geography March Madness 2021, a tournament-style competition to help determine what is the best place. If you're familiar with the NCAA Basketball March Madness tournament, it's a 64-team single elimination tournament to see who the best basketball team in the country is, but for Geography March Madness, the competitors are not basketball teams, they're places. The tournament is going to be set up the same way as the basketball tournament, with 64 places ranked 1 through 64 and set inside single elimination brackets. And the competitors for this competition are going to be the 50 U.S. states, D.C., and Puerto Rico, 10 Canadian provinces. So that's 62 teams. The last two seeds are going to be filled in by play-in round, and I'm going to do at the end of this video. So for the play-in round, it's going to be the other 4 U.S. territories and the 3 Canadian territories. The places are going to be ranked 1 through 64 based on its population. So I'm going on the population estimates of U.S. Census Bureau for 2021 or for Statistics Canada for 2021. But the competition is designed so that just because you're bigger or more populous doesn't mean you're going to be necessarily the favorite. So what I've done, I've come up with 75 different categories from which to compare these different individual places. I've written down numbers on pieces of paper here, and I'm going to put them in a bowl. And I'm going to literally just draw one from here blindly. This is number 64. So what I do is I have a spreadsheet where I have all the 75 categories listed out. So what number 64 is, so say it's Alaska versus Hawaii, and say 64 is highest elevation, which is not, but the winner would be Alaska for that category. So I'm going to have the best 3 out of 5 for these first few rounds. So you can't just win with just one category. So you have to win the best 3 out of 5 to get overall to move on to the next round. Most of the categories are going to be objective, so they have something to do with GDP per capita or manufacturing income or tourism or whatever it happened to be for that category. A few of them are going to be completely, in my opinion, totally subjective, but it is a pretty good way to show which state, province, territory is best, because you got to have an overall pretty wide range of things you have to be good at. You can't just be really good at one thing and expect to win. You have to win 3 out of 5 each round all the way to the very end. So to ensure that a certain state, province, or territory isn't relying on the same category over and over again to win, I've come up with a couple of different rules. The first is that you can only use one category per each round. So for example, if it's Alaska versus Hawaii, and I draw highest elevation, Alaska will win. But if I draw highest elevation again in that same round, I will have to redraw. So you can't just keep winning by the same category. So in case I'm not clearly describing the rules, I put all the stuff about this on my website. So if you go to geographyking.com, you can see the information about the bracket, the categories being used, the seedings, as well as the rules of the tournament. So I really don't even use my website for anything. I just did it so I could reserve the name geographyking.com so nobody else could do it. So I did think I would put some of this stuff about this tournament on the website to kind of use it. So if you want some more information about the details of this category, or also to print off the bracket, check out geographyking.com. There's nothing else on that website. There's nothing you have to sign up for or anything. So just go check it out if you want some more specifics. So to give you an idea how this is going to play out over the next month, I'm going to do the 2 play-in series for the tournament right now. So the 63rd seed and the 64th seed are going to be determined by the U.S. and Canadian territories in a small little runoff right now. All right, I'm going to start this thing off by doing the play-in for the Canadian territories, and there are 3 of them: Northwest Territories, Yukon, and Nunavut. So I'm going to pull categories from this bowl, and the first one to get to 3 goes in as the number 64 seed, goes up against California in the first round. All right, so I'm going to pull a number from this bowl, and that's going to be the first category that is used to compare these Canadian territories. And the one that gets pulled out is number 62. So I'm going to go to my category list here. 62 is the best single signature food. So I'm going to cut away for a second here and come back with who's going to be the winner in this category. All right, so after a little bit of research, I'm going to go with Northwest Territories and the bison burgers. And all 3 of these territories have a lot of great fish, a lot of great fresh seafood, a lot of smoked salmon and Yukon and Arctic char throughout the region. You also have caribou stew in Nunavut as one of its signature dishes. But again, I'm going to go with Northwest Territories, a lot of bison, love the bison burgers. So the next category for these 3 Canadian territories is going to be 19. So I'm going to go back to my list here. 19. The percent of the population in prisons. That isn't a category you want to have a high number on. So again, I'm going to check the research on this and get back to you after a shortcut. Okay, so after some quick research right there, Yukon wins big time. Northwest Territories and Nunavut both have a very high prison population relative to its overall population. So Yukon gets the big win here. So Northwest Territories, Yukon with 1 each. Next category. Number 4. Number 4 is poverty rate. So percent of the population living in poverty. Obviously, this is one where you want to be lower than the other ones. Well, so again, real quick cut here. I'm going to come back with the winner in this category. Okay, so looking at the poverty rate, looks like Northwest Territories are going to win again. It's a little bit ahead of Yukon, and both are well ahead of Nunavut. But Northwest Territories again wins this category. They've got 2. Yukon has 1. Nunavut still got nothing. So next category here. 14. So I'm going to go to my list here. 14 is livestock by 2019 revenue. All of my economic indicators are going by 2019 revenue. 2020 numbers aren't official yet, and they're also kind of sketchy because of the pandemic. So I'm going to go by 2019 numbers in terms of livestock revenue. Again, quick cut here. I'll get back with the overall winner. Okay, and as you can imagine, all 3 of these territories are pretty low in terms of livestock production, but once again, it's going to be Northwest Territories that wins this, so that puts them at 3 categories to win. They win the overall Canadian territory play-in, and they're going to get the number 64 seed, go up against California in the first round. So now for the small play-in tournament for the 4 smaller U.S. territories, they've been ranked 1 through 4 in terms of population. Guam has the most, then Virgin Islands, Northern Mariana Islands, and the smallest is Samoa. So the first round is going to be number 1 Guam versus number 4 Samoa in the best 3 out of 5. All right, Guam versus Samoa. What's going to be the first category to compare between these two? Number 38. So I'm going to go to my list here. 38 is the best for canoeing and kayaking. So that's something that I enjoy doing, paddling. So it's not an important category for most, but this is my list. So I'm going to go to the, take a quick cut, and then I'm going to look at Guam versus Samoa in terms of the best one for paddling. All right, after doing a little bit of research in that category, I'm going to give the win to Samoa. There's a little more mountainous rivers and lagoons and bays. It's a good variety of things to do in terms of paddling. So that's the first category. Samoa's up 1-0 over Guam. Now we're going to go to... I pulled out 2. Sorry. 42. So let's get down here to 42. The best for state or provincial parks, or in the case of Guam and Samoa, perhaps national parks. So I'm going to do a quick little cut here and get back with the answer to that one. All right, so that's a pretty easy win for Samoa in that category as well. So we're getting some outdoor type stuff, and Samoa's coming out on top over Guam. So we'll see if Guam can catch up with something a little less outdoors oriented. 50. So let me go to the list here. 50 is the best flag. So here's one that's got nothing to do with the size of the size of the place, or the economy or anything like that. So let's just go ahead and look at the flags for both of these, and I'll determine which one's the best. All right, so I'm going to go with Guam in the flag category. I don't like how it says Guam on it, but it does have a nice tropical scene on it. The American Samoa flag is just kind of generic for just an eagle. It doesn't have anything to do with the tropics. So Guam, you're on the board, 2-1 Samoa. See if you can keep it up. 61 is the category there. So let's go to 61. The best for an outdoors weekend trip. So this is not going well for Guam. Samoa is just a much more interesting place in terms of its overall outdoor activities. A little more mountainous, again, with the canoeing and kayaking. There's more lagoons and stuff. More stuff you can do hiking and oriented. This outdoor stuff is much better in Samoa. So Samoa wins the categories, the best 3 out of 5 against Guam, on its backs of outdoor and nature kind of stuff, but that's to be expected for Samoa. So Samoa moves on to the finals of this little play-in round against the other winner, which is going to be Virgin Islands versus Northern Mariana Islands. All right, so here we go. Who's going to be the winner of the first category to see who gets to take on Samoa? 12 is the draw. 12 is the tax give to take ratio. So how much does a place pay in taxes versus how much does it get back? So I'll do a little research on that and get back to this so do a little research on that and then get back in just a minute. All right, after doing a little bit of research, the winner in that category is the U.S. Virgin Islands. A little bit less of a tax take versus what they generate. Mariana Islands has a little more military presence, so a lot of tax revenue being spent, but not a whole lot coming out. So Virgin Islands off to a 1-0 start there, and see what we got. 36. Natural disasters by total number since 2000. So I'm going to take a look at which of these two places have had more natural disasters happen this century. So after doing a little bit of research, it appears as though the Northern Mariana Islands has fared a little bit better in terms of overall number of disasters. There was a massive hurricane just a few years ago, 2018, but there have been a larger number of hurricanes and other tropical storms that affected the Virgin Islands. So overall, the Mariana Islands wins this category here. So we're tied 1-1. We'll see what we got to. This is 9, and 9 is overall crime rate. So the overall territorial-wide crime rate for Virgin Islands and Mariana Islands. All right, in terms of the overall crime rate, the Northern Mariana Islands wins with an overall lower crime rate than the U.S. Virgin Islands. So Marianas go up 2-1 on the Virgin. So let's keep going, see who's going to win this one. This could be Marianas for the win in the round. 69. So let's scroll down here. It's going to be the best movie that was based there. I'm not sure if there were any movies based in the Mariana Islands. This might be an easy one for the Virgins, but we'll see real quick. Okay, so I take back what I just said. The Northern Mariana Islands is an important part of the movie Windtalkers, which is a World War II movie talking about some of the war in the Pacific with the Japanese army invading, whereas the best movie that's about the Virgin Islands is Weekend at Bernie's 2. So this is a pretty easy win for the Northern Mariana Islands. So with the lower crime rate and the lower number of natural disasters, Northern Mariana Islands wins this round and goes on to the finals of the play-in to take on Samoa. All right, so now for the finals of the little play-in round for the U.S. territories, we have Samoa taking on the Mariana Islands. So first category for these two. 35. So 35 is winter climate. So which of these two places is better in the winter? They're both pretty good, but let me do a little quick check to make sure I'm picking the right one. All right, so this is a pretty easy win for the Northern Mariana Islands. The winters are much more pleasant than Samoa, and it gets a lot less rain too. Samoa is really hot during the winter and a ton of rain as well. So Mariana's up 1-0. Going for the second category here. 59. So 59 is the best for driving through on a road trip. So, well, these are two island areas that are not great for cross-country road tripping. So I'm going to have to go with Samoa on this one, just because it's a bigger island. There's more to drive, and so there really isn't anywhere to drive between the islands of the Marianas. So I'm going to have to go with Samoa by default on this one. And it would be a very pretty drive to go across the island, even though, again, it's a very small island, so there isn't a whole lot there. But so Mariana's Samoa tied 1-1. Remember, this is the best 3 out of 5. $70. So number 70 is liquor laws. So this is a pretty interesting one. I'm not quite sure about the liquor laws of either of these two territories. So again, quick cut, and I'll get right back to you. So the liquor laws are pretty similar for both territories. They have the same drinking age, the same last call, but I'm going to give the nod to the Northern Mariana Islands here, being that you can be 18 and work in a bar or a restaurant and serve alcohol, and also because of the military presence there, you have a little more lax laws on terms of alcohol. So overall, going to give the nod to Northern Mariana Islands. So they go up 2-1. I got another category here. They can win. They can win it with this one. So two is something economic. 2 is GDP per capita. So let me do a quick little cut and I'll be right back with who wins in this one. All right, so the Northern Mariana Islands has a much higher GDP per capita than Samoa, so it's going to win this category. And with that win, it wins the entire round with the third win in that category. So overall, the Northern Mariana Islands wins the little tournament for the play-in for American territories and goes in, gets the 63rd seed in the overall tournament, going up against Texas in the first round. So that's the introduction to Geography March Madness 2021, and with the Northern Mariana Islands sliding in with a number 63 seed and the Northwest Territories sliding in as a number 64 seed, we have the full bracket filled out. So again, go to my website, geographyking.com, to get more information, specifics about this tournament. There'll be a bracket you can print off. There'll be a list of the seeds and how they got there, list of the categories for what I'll be using for the competition, as well as the actual rules for the tournament itself. But basically, I'll be posting videos on March 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, and 30th, with each date, each video I post going further and further into the tournament. And by March 30th, we'll come up with a winner. What is the overall best state, province, or territory around? It's Geography Madness 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up to let me know you approve, and subscribe to this channel if you're interested in learning more about U.S. geography. I'm comparing and contrasting cities and states and counties and all kinds of different categories, ranking things, talking about cross-country road tripping, and pretty much everything I talk about is coming from a little more nerdy type perspective. But yeah, thanks for watching. Geography King, signing out.